Good morning, everybody. Today, I'd be discussing about why mobile user experience is important for your business and why it is important for you to have a mobile presence. What a fabulous topic to listen to on a Friday morning. I am Niranjan Shankar. I am the one there ferociously in action. I am a UI web developer with IMR. I have been in the field of software development for the last 5 years. And I have been with IMR for the past 2 years creating websites and mobile applications. And I also happen to play cricket. No wonder I'm an Indian, so I have to play cricket as well as do software engineering. So, smartphones are rapidly changing the way millions of individuals around the globe conduct business. With smartphones, you can check your email, pay your taxes, shop, read the news, and whatnot. Not just this, you can also book a taxi or pay for your gym membership through your smartphone. So, when was the last time we did all this on a standard PC? So, companies must change their approach to accommodate the rapidly changing elements of modern technology. So, developing software for IMR's industrial partners has many challenges. Today, I'll talk to you about how we solve one of these, how to design software for hundreds or thousands of devices in the market. So, give me the next few slides and we'll see how the websites were built in the pre-smartphone era and why that approach is not suitable for today's trend. Then we'll see how it's been done by industry leaders like YouTube now and how we at IMR use all the principles and add our own innovative touch to satisfy the client's needs. Back then, the websites did not have to cater to a variety of screen sizes because there weren't many screen sizes. We all remember using the old Windows 98 or Windows Vista operating system standard PCs. So the websites that were built were also of fixed size. So let's see an example. So this is an example of a fixed design website which was strictly designed for a 1024 pixel screen. So all the images that you see, the picture of the book, the logo, the text and the spacing between the elements, nothing is flexible. It's all rigid. So what happens if we load this on a bigger or a smaller screen? So let's try to load this on a bigger screen. So it's not pretty, but it's still functional. You have the content at the center and you have white space at the end. So it makes the work for us. It's just the job. So, but what happens if we load the same image or a same website on a smaller screen? This is how it's going to look on a mobile for you. So as you can see, this is neither pretty nor usable. And if I were a user, I'm not going to this website again. But back then this wasn't an issue because we didn't have smartphones. The standard size was a big PC monitor. So it did the work back then. So why are we discussing about mobile so much now? What has changed? Half the internet traffic is through the mobile now, and it is going to soar up to 80% in the next 2 years. So in 2 years, every 4 out of 5 people using the internet will be mobile users. Moreover, the waiting time has reduced enormously in today's world because the information is on the go and everything you need is either a click or two away online. So combine this reduction in waiting levels or waiting times with the increase in smartphone usage and you come up with alarming statistics. So every 1 in 4 visitor will abandon your website if it takes more than 4 seconds to load. So people, we have hardly got 4 seconds to impress our visitors. Also, almost half the users don't revisit if they are not impressed at the first go. So as they say, first impression is the best impression. Add to this, for e-commerce giants like Amazon, for every 1 second delay in page load, there is an annual loss of $1.6 billion. So if you match the scope of mobile users along with the monetary impact it has, we can realize the scale we are talking about. Now that we have realized how big the market is, how do we actually do it? How do we make it simple but significant and intuitive for the users? Remember, designing for mobile is not the easiest. The factors are not same for mobile as well as desktop. For mobile, for example, you don't have a dedicated mouse or a keyboard. What users do is they rather touch and swipe instead of click, and the posture of users differ as well. They might be lying down on a couch, they might be standing in an elevator, they might be even running on a treadmill when they are using your application. So how do you make sure that you deliver your quality irrespective of how and where the user is using your application. This is one question I get asked very often. Could we not just take the design of the desktop and try to squash it in a tablet or a mobile phone and it will still work? The simple answer is no, and we'll see why in the next slide. So consider this example of a Gmail. We all know and we are all aware of how Gmail user interface looks. So let's try to fit the same design on an iPad screen. So if you go into an iPad screen, this is how it looks. It's not pretty, but as you can see, some might argue this is still functional. But let's take the same design and now squash it inside an iPhone. So this is how it's going to look on an iPhone. As you can see, if Gmail had this user interface, I don't think it would have had the user impact it has now back then. So this is when we talk about user experience. So say a company A comes to IMR asking for a website or a mobile application to develop for a set of users. The app could be used by the company themselves, or it could be used by a different set of users depending on what the app does. So user experience is a study that focuses on users' needs, abilities, what the user can and cannot do, and the user's values as well as the limitations. But it also sees what the company's business goals are and the objectives of the company. So when you encompass both the users as well as company's needs and goals, you get a successful software application. Let's take an example of YouTube and see how they intelligently use user experience to give us eye-pleasing or eye-catching experience. So YouTube has thumbnails, as we all know, and they also have a very strong search functionality. And we are also going to focus here on the menu that they have here. As you can see, the menu is properly categorized into primary, the top three, and then the secondary set of menus, and then come the auxiliary menu. This is done through a user research. So let's see how the same design looks on an iPad. So let's go into an iPad's landscape mode. The thumbnails are still present, although with a subtle slider. And the search functionality is still present as well because they still have the space. But if you focus on the menu, they've reduced the menu bar to 5 menus and they have hidden everything behind the hamburger. That because they thought these top 5 are more important than the others. So what happens when we load the same design on a phone? So they still have the thumbnails and they still have the search, though they have changed the design a little bit. But if you see, their menu is hidden behind the hamburger bar now. So what the user research has done is they have found out the thumbnail and search is more important than the menu itself. So there are few usability principles we can learn from YouTube. The first one is prioritize content. So based on the research, we have to find what adds the most value to our user and what is our primary and secondary content. And the next principle is when appropriate, hide your secondary content. If it's not important, if it's going to impact your mobile experience, try to hide what's necessary. The final one is allow the users to navigate straight to their destination. So in YouTube, as you can see, everything is either 1 or 2 clicks away. It has a very strong recommendation system, also a very powerful search functionality. So the users spend more time watching the video rather than browsing. We at IMR derive all these principles from industry leaders and also use our own innovative and intuitive touch to turn an idea into a product. In this slide, I'll try to explain how we at IMR approach a concept. Say a company comes with an idea or a concept to IMR. So what we do is we take that concept to our UX experts who talk to the end users. We conduct research, we conduct competitor analysis, surveys, we ask them questions, and based on the answers we get, we create the sketches or prototypes which has a certain list of functionalities and features the app should have. So based on these rough sketches, then we talk to our UI designer who will convert all the sketches into a graphical interface using Adobe Photoshop or any other similar application. It is just adding colors, animation, aesthetics and style to the sketch. So once this graphical design is ready, this is where I come into picture. So the design comes on my desk where I convert the design into a software application. I code the user interface that you see, all the front end elements like buttons, login screens, etc. But I also take care of the back end logic, the server configuration, the database and more. So once we have developed and tested our application, Next is the delivery phase. We come to your premises and we install the apps or websites and we train the end users ourselves. And we also provide continuous maintenance and support. But as you see, this is not as linear as it looks. So what we make sure on top of this is we ensure that we involve company and the users in every phase of the development so that what you expect is what we deliver. So we realize that the field of web technology is an evolving trend. We simply cannot demand users to use our product on a certain device. We can't design a website and say you got to use this on a 1024 pixel screen. That's not how it's going to work hereafter. So encompassing all this, the team at IMR can take a concept and own it end to end. And we also develop software for all devices in the market at no additional cost or time. You pay for a website and we make sure that it works well on the biggest monitor as well as the smallest mobile. And we also make sure that we provide continuous support and maintenance post deployment. We do regular upgrades, we do bug fixing, we do not leave you hanging. So lads, smartphone usage will continue to grow even if we accept or not. It's going to go towards 80% in the next few years. So it's the right time for you to think if your company needs a mobile presence or if your business needs to go online for smartphone users. If you have a challenge, do contact us on the given email IDs, or you can even partner with us today on a variety of ways. We have collaborative funded research. You can also join our IMR network, or you could do a contract research where you talk to us directly and we give one-to-one solutions. So thank you, lads.